What a glorious day, as it's time for the wrestling Q&A. Our first question is from the man, the myth, the legend, SCW. Woo, yeah, woo. And he asks, should Raquel Gonzalez eventually defeat Rhea Ripley when they have that big matchup that's been teased? And for me, if you don't know who Rhea Ripley and Gonzalez are, Rhea Ripley, she's gonna be one of the main people in WWE, similar to Sasha Banks now. Obviously, WWE, the big stars aren't just the men anymore. A lot of the women stars, I'd say Bayley, Sasha, Charlotte, Becky, they're a lot bigger than over half of the men's roster. And Rhea Ripley should be in that bracket because she is a mega star. I remember when she come up and faced Charlotte, brilliant match, and she felt like a big deal. Survivor Series 2019, she beat Charlotte and Sasha Banks, felt like a big deal, and I think she'll go up to the main roster. And when people go up to the main roster, of course they lose. It's tradition. Give the win, give the rub to the person in NXT so they can still look strong and not look like an idiot. And yeah, and if you don't know Rhea Gonzalez, she's an absolute unit as well. She'd eat me for lunch, I'm telling you now. So yeah, this question, I gotta say, Gonzalez should definitely win. Dawn of Wrestling YouTube. Got a strong YouTube channel. I think he's on 1.4 subs, something ridiculous. But out of all the wrestling YouTubers in our little circle, our inner circle, he is him, Bonafide Heat, SCW. They're all up there among the greats. Also, go subscribe to him. If you're a wrestling fan, he's right up your alley. He's just as good as Plana Productions, in my opinion. And he asked 3 questions, not 1, not 2, but 3. And our first question, how would you react if Goldberg squashes Roman Reigns? And I think their match is going to go a bit like this. Goldberg. Spear. He's got him up. Jackhammer. Oh no, he can't get him up. He's injured. He's broke Roman Reigns' neck. Oh no. Looks like we're giving the Universal title. Messing about, but I do actually really like Goldberg. I just like the intensity. These two would have a great match, and people say they don't want to see it. Though that's Mark's talking, and that is, come at me, Mark. Come at me, Marks. That's them talking. A mainstream appeal. WWE needs to be mainstream more now than ever. Impact, AEW, New Japan, they're stronger than they've ever been. So WWE needs that mainstream appeal match. And this is exactly it. Spear vs. Spear. The tribal chief will reign supreme. But if Goldberg did win the title, WWE just killed their biggest star. And I'd still watch wrestling regardless who wins, who loses. Like, when the Fiend lost the title, I didn't go, oh, I'm not going to watch WrestleMania now because Goldberg beat the Fiend. You know, so I'd be a bit upset because I do like Roman Reigns, I do like his character, but it won't be the end of the world because I don't mind Goldberg. So I was like, that's whatever, the bad booking decision, but I'm not going to say anything because I could be a part of this organisation in the future and they might bad book decision me, you know, it's the way it goes. Yeah, but I honestly won't be that fussed on it. Question, he asks, should Kenny Omega appear in Wrestle Kingdom 15? And for me, why the hell not? I don't know who, I'm not too familiar with New Japan, but he was a big star over there before, and now he's just bigger. If we got a TNA Impact, well, Impact is working with New Japan. I know that, because Chris Bay and all is on the Super Cup, whatever it's called. And I can't see why. If them 3 work together, let's just say that war between wrestling and WWE, it's like Avengers Endgame. It's everyone against Thanos. Genuinely, it'd be very interesting to see what happened. And I can't see why not. Get AEW then can get the Japanese market, the Asian market. And he's a big star over there anyways. Him versus, I don't know, he probably versus Okada before. But him versus Okada has come to my mind. Him versus Tama Tonga, you know, people like that. It'd be a great match. So, of course, I'd love to see him appear there. And I think he should as well. And And his final question, what year was worse for WWE, 2018 or 2019? For me, both, I didn't mind both years. I know, like, I'd say 2019, Seth Rollins era, we had Brock Party, we had Kofi Mania. I'd say the WrestleMania from 2019 that should go down as one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time. Even though it was a long show, I thought it was really good. And it should be, like, at the time, I remember people were, like, putting it up there as one of the best. Like, I thought it delivered really well at WrestleMania 35. 2018 was, despite the WrestleMania being poor, it was more of I think overall it was more of a fun year. You know, we had that really good AJ Styles was class. He's untouchable. You had, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe feud. SummerSlam 2018 was really fun. I remember looking back at it. Roman winning the title with Braun Strowman teasing to cash in on that match. We had, that I think it was the Killer Tag Team. Oh, the B Team, they were funny. I really liked the B Team. They were class with Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. You had a lot of fun 2018, I thought so. And like Hell in a Cell, I remember very good with 2018. That mixed tag, Bryan, Bray Wyatt. And WrestleMania 34, honestly, if you take away the main event, it's a good show, WrestleMania 34, sorry. I just like the whole branding of it as well, so it's got a special memory. And that Saudi show, the first Saudi show was actually quite good, but they really fell off since the Greatest Royal Rumble. But I did enjoy the Greatest Royal Rumble, so I'd say 2019 was a worse year overall for me. The Seth Rollins era didn't do it for me. I love Seth, but that title run just didn't do it for me. Do you think Asuka and Lana feud will lead to Asuka vs Shayna Baszler at the Royal Rumble in 2021? And I tell you what, I absolutely hope so. I think these two would have a great match. I'd love to see it. Well, I do think I think they'll go more towards Lana though. Personally, I think she's a bigger star. She's more connected, more of the fans. I think. I know she's playing the face, but I think mainstream appeal. Lana's got a lot more mainstream appeal than Shayna Baszler. But I'd love to see Asuka vs Shayna Baszler because they put in the last woman standing match or something. They tear the house down. They tear the Thunderdome apart. So we think we'll get both matches down the line, but I think they might go Lana in the bigger role, and we might get Shayna on Raw again, or maybe a Fastlane type pay-per-view, Elimination Chamber type pay-per-view. On the podcast, Sweet Chinwag podcast, really I've forgotten the name then. And Dan as well, amazing name as well. He said, who do you think from WWE's undercard could be a main event on the sky's the limit? The main one's Keith Lee. I think since he came up to main roster, we were all scared after he had that theme song change and all. But I think he's killed it so far on the main roster, and I think Vince does see a lot of it, a lot of good stuff in him. And he has been WrestleMania. He is rumoured to be in a triple threat match. Him, Lesnar, Drew, which would be, oh my god, that match would absolutely. I think triple threat matches are the way to go at WrestleMania. So you can't do them every year, but I think they're better than just a normal one-on-one match for definitely for some main event spot. So yeah, I'd love to see Keith. I think Keith Lee will definitely be up there, but that's quite an obvious answer. So we'll go for a more not so obvious guy. And for me, there's so many people to choose from. Obviously, you got your Riddles, Lashley, even though he's been a blind box, he's on the undercard. Lashley could definitely do again, but I'm gonna go for Elias. I love Elias. His character's sick. He's amazing heel, and with a crowd, I think he suffered without the crowd, but with a crowd, he's just fantastic, and he's good in the ring. His match with Seth Rollins, Money in the Bank, 2018 or 2019, one of them two. I think it's 2018. Really good. He's just had some great. He's had some great matches as well. He's got in the Elimination Chamber in 2018. I think he's a really good wrestler, and I think everyone wants to walk with Elias. I certainly do. You think he's the most charismatic out of a lot of the superstars in WWE. So I'm going to go with Elias. I want to walk with Elias. New Asuka, welcome to the channel. I hope you stay and love the content. And he asks, what wrestler did you first hate but you are now a fan of? That's an interesting one, because if you're a smart, you're going to hate anyone that's brought up in the WWE system. I don't know if people still hate him as much now, but I know you get a lot of stick. Is Baron Corbin. I think he's really done well. Since, honestly, it changed when SmackDown went to Fox. He became, so good. Obviously, a lot of people didn't like that waistcoat D-Roney when he had the Waitrose attire. And for me, at first I didn't like Baron Corbin. I didn't think I didn't rate him highly. But when you get more into wrestling and you learn the ins and outs, then you start to appreciate people like him, people like Ziggler. People that Marks will give the go away heat to. Marks will have the go away heat to him. But Corbin is sick, and he's got the coolest finisher. I think the best finisher in wrestling right now. Probably up there. He's got top 5 coolest finishers in wrestling now. At the end of the day, it's such a clean move. And he is a really good heel. He's really grown into his role as well. And I think WWE saw this from early on. That's why they've given him such a prominent role over the years. But it's only the last 2-3 years I thought, you know what? I've been giving him all the stick. I've been giving him the Mark go away heat. But he's really good. He's actually really good. And if I do become a wrestler, I'd love to work with him in the future. I 100% would be a match I'd love to have. E-double-C to the PODBCC Wrestling Podcast. Asks, who would you eventually beat Walter? And Walter, I think he's had the title the longest now. It's been since 2019, since WrestleMania 2019, that takeover before he beat Pete Dunne. And NXT UK, mate, it's a really slept on roster, and maybe it's because I got a bit of bias because I am from the UK. But I do really like NXT UK. I think it's perfect. It's perfect for them wrestlers as well, especially. But for me, the person to eventually beat them, you have Dragunov. The big stars in NXT UK is him, Dragunov, Jordan Devitt, Tyler Bate, Trent Seven. Maybe the A-Kid. He's floating, but those aren't the big stars. But so personally, I would go for, I think, it's a really tough one. I do like Mark Andrews as well. I really like Mark Andrews. Welsh bias, but I do like him. But I tell you what, I think it makes sense for the A-Kid to beat him. He's got the Heritage Cup, and he's really good. I didn't hear of him before, but he come up on the radar, and I really like him. So I'll go the A-Kid. No fight. He is so close to 1K subs, and he's very talented. Let's get him to 1K subs. And let's think in with the elitist question about the Kenny Omega and Wrestle Kingdom. What are your thoughts potential AEW and New Japan partnership? I'm all for it. I think it's not really done before, so many companies working together in one. But when you look at the chances of breaking into mainstream and successful wrestling in general, I think WWE is such a giant, it's the only way to beat them. Join together. You see, Impact and New Japan's got their partnership, and now AEW and Impact's got a partnership. You put them together, then that's a mega partnership. And they've all got different areas covered. Obviously, New Japan appeals so much to the Asian market, which is really big. People understand how big Asian market is. And I do think AEW needs to really, I know they have a bit of a partnership, but really team up with AAA, because that Latin America market, it's done wonders for people look how big J Balvin is in music. So I think translate that to wrestling. The wrestling as a whole would be mainstream again. And I'm all for it. See, then you could have people like Okada's really big star, I know, in Japan. And imagine him on Dynamite. I think that'd get ratings. I think he'd do well. Him versus Kenny, they could have him versus Cody, him versus Sting. You could have all the matches you want. Him versus Penta. And when you look at it, it's, I keep on calling them TNA. Impact, or the Impact TNA, AEW and New Japan come together. AEW already have 50, 60 really talented wrestlers. New Japan's probably got about 50 or 60. And so does Impact's got a really slept on roster. They got some really talented. Put them all together, then you've got the biggest brand of wrestling possible. And if someone don't have enough TV time in AEW Dynamite, you can have him on TV time in Impact, or you can have him on TV time in New Japan. It makes sense. I'd love to see this partnership. And that's where we're going to end it. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.